Afternoon, guys. As you can see, no longer at the mercy of the birds. We have all of the figs covered up so that we could hopefully get to try a few of them. And I noticed this morning that we've got a bit of splitting happening on this Panache fig here, and so rather than leave it on the tree and get it to get infested by bugs, we might give this one a shot today. I think I would have preferred, just based upon the softness, to give it another day or two, but we had a bit of, I watered it yesterday, and sometimes when you water them they have a little bit too much water and they split. Or it might just have been the right time for this particular fig. Either way, this here Panache will be the first fig I try, of the Panache variety at least. One thing I have noticed is that they do have quite an open eye. Open eyes are not necessarily the best when it comes to figs, because once that eye opens up and they're full of sugars, they can get infested by bugs and other things like that, and they can just generally spoil. One thing that you might find with figs is that if you have a fig that appears to be ripe and then you cut it open and you have a taste and it's a bit sour, it's often a sign that the fig has been attacked by some sort of, oops, camera falling over, attacked by some sort of bug, and the sourness is a bacteria that gets in there, or a fungus or anything like that. And as we know, with these bacteria and fungus, anyone that does wine making, beer brewing, sour bread making, it converts the sugars into acids, so you get a bit of a sour taste. So can't see any bugs, at least on the outside of this one, but our Panache, it's a decent size, it's a decent weight, it's I'd say it's a medium, small to medium fig. It's not overly large, but it's also not tiny like some of the ones you see. Now, compared to the fig that I had the other day, the unknown variety, it's a lot pinker inside. So if we can get a good focus on that, it's a kind of dark to light color. I don't think the one you saw that the birds got was a lot darker inside, so that leads me to believe that this is possibly not as ripe as it could have been, which is disappointing. I can see one small bug in there, which I'm going to remove. I'm sure it won't hurt me, but at the same time, I'm not here to eat bugs, I'm here to eat figs. Very little smell at all together. It doesn't smell like anything at all. The Heritage one I tried the other day at least had a scent, even if it was not very flavorful. At least it smelled like something. I suspect that this is going to be a little bit insipid as well, is my guess before I try it, but let's see how we go. Definitely better than the other one. This one is a little bit more tart, not tart in like the bug spoiling way that I mentioned before. It's kind of tart as in a berry sort of manner, maybe a bit like a maybe even a little bit like a raspberry sort of tartness. There isn't a lot of figginess in it, there isn't a lot of honey in it. It's not particularly sweet, but I actually don't think it's particularly ripe either. I think another 2 days is what this needed, and if it had been on the tree for that time, I think a lot of these sugars would have really kind of come out. Definitely a pleasant flavour. And if that raspberry flavour gets balanced with kind of a rich, sweet, honey, ripe fig flavour, I think that's kind of an exceptional fig. So let's hope that the other ones on the tree don't split and ripen up a little bit more. I might lay off the watering. It's hard balance because I usually wait until the trees are quite dry before I water them to start with. So by the time we get to me watering them, there isn't a lot of extra days that I can kind of just wait for the fruit to ripen, or they'll just defoliate. they'll kind of die, almost leave it up to the point where the leaves start to wilt. So hopefully we can time the next one so that maybe as it's coming on ripe, I can back off the water a couple of days beforehand, or maybe there'll be a few cooler days. We'll see. But Panache fig, first tasting, definitely not the same as figs I've had before. That berry flavour is quite unique. The lack of sweetness could be improved upon, but it was far better than the fig that I had before. And as these kind of ripen, and I've got a few of these Panache trees, we'll taste a few more as the season comes, although we don't have a lot of season left, and we'll see how they go and what they taste like. But Panache fig, guys, first tasting for me, and I hope that's useful to any of the fig lovers out there. I'll catch you later.